We track just about everything about our bodies, our steps, our sleep, our heartbeats. It's incredible. But what if all that data is missing a massive, massive piece of the puzzle? What if there's this whole invisible world out there shaping our health that our apps and wearables, well, they just can't see?
I mean, really think about it. Your fitness tracker knows you went for a run, sure, but does it know if you ran through a giant cloud of exhaust fumes? Or does your sleep app have any clue that your bedroom window faces a street that's just constantly noisy and disruptive? The answer, for pretty much all of us right now, is a hard no.
And that, right there, is the core of the problem. We've gotten so good, so incredibly precise at measuring our internal world, but we are almost completely blind to how the external world is directly impacting our biology. And that creates this huge blind spot in how we understand our own well-being.
I mean, look at this. The contrast is just wild. On one side, you've got all the metrics we kind of obsess over every day. And on the other, you have these powerful environmental forces, the actual air we're breathing, the noise, urban heat, that we completely ignore, even though, they're hitting us every single second of every day.
And look, this isn't just some fringe idea. It's a huge, recognized gap in health technology. The crucial missing piece here is context. Without understanding our external exposures, the story our health data is telling us is, well, it's only half the story.
Okay, so why does this matter so much? Why is the world around you such a critical piece of the puzzle? Well, it's because our health doesn't exist in a vacuum, right? It's in this constant dynamic conversation with our environment.
And we're not talking about small stuff here, minor annoyances. The research is clear. These environmental factors are directly tied to some really serious health outcomes, from triggering asthma attacks and contributing to heart disease, all the way to impacting our mental well-being. So yeah, this so-called invisible data, it has some very visible and very, very real impacts.
So, the big question is, what if we could actually see this invisible world? What if we could finally map our environment with the same kind of clarity we have for our step count? That is exactly where a new kind of data comes into the picture.
It's called Sparrow data. And just to be clear, this isn't your average citywide environmental report. This is hyper-local, real-time intelligence. We're talking about knowing the air quality and the noise levels on your specific street right now.
And that precision, it is everything. Most of us get an air quality report for our entire city, which is kind of like getting a weather forecast for an entire state. This data gives you the forecast for your exact block, making it personal, and maybe most importantly, making it something you can actually do something about.
Okay, so we've got this incredible new fire hose of hyperlocal data. But here's the thing. Data on its own is just numbers. The real magic, that happens when you plug it into an intelligence that can make sense of it all. And that's where AI steps in.
And the way it works is actually pretty straightforward. First, you give consent to share your location for this environmental context. Then, the Sparrow data is securely fed in. And finally, the AI, in this case something like ChatGPT Health, does all the heavy lifting in the background, combining your personal health info with this brand new environmental context to find patterns and give you insights you've literally never had before.
All right, this is where it gets really, really cool. What does this actually look like for you? What kind of advice can a health assistant give when it truly understands the world you're living in, minute by minute? Check this out. Instead of just a generic reminder to take a walk, the AI can now give you proactive, personalized advice. It sees your history with asthma, it checks the real-time air quality on your street, and suggests a preventative measure. I mean, come on, that is a complete game changer. Or how about this? It can connect the dots between that terrible night's sleep you just had and the specific noise and pollution levels right outside your window. And it's not just telling you there's a problem, it's offering you actual strategies, like finding a quieter route home. Isn't that incredible?
And on the clinical side, this is absolutely huge. The AI can help you prep for a doctor's visit by spotting potential links between your symptoms and your environment. You're walking in there empowered with data, ready to have a much smarter, more productive conversation with your doctor.
So you have to understand, this isn't just about adding another cool feature to your health app. Adding this environmental layer, it actually represents a fundamental shift in how we approach personalized health. What we're seeing here is a huge evolution. We're moving away from an AI that's just reactive, that only looks at your past data. We are moving towards a system that is truly proactive and context-aware, an intelligence that actually understands your world and helps you navigate it more safely.
When you boil it all down, this is really about expanding how we even think about health. It's about finally recognizing that our well-being is this dynamic interplay between what's happening inside our bodies and the world we move through every single day.
And that just leaves you wondering, right? It opens up this really exciting question for the future. If we can make things like air and noise pollution visible, what's next? What other invisible forces are shaping our lives, just waiting for the right data and the right AI to finally bring them into the light?